All right. Good evening, everyone. Online. I'm audible to you guys. Yeah. Good evening, Risha. So in last session, we discussed about the firewall, right? So is there any doubt for you guys? So have you gone through that? What is firewall? Types of firewall architectures, and firewall techniques. So I said to work out on the firewall and antivirus difference. So can anyone tell me the difference of firewall and antivirus? Just Nara? Mm. And it takes blocks and remove all different ways of the marbles and this one. Biologists protect against other impacts like this. Okay. And the protects against viruses, worms, problems, and so on, ransomware attacks. Okay. Firewall just works at the network level. Antivirus works at the device, just device around. Firewall basically just blocks based on rules. Antivirus will scan bytes, programs, and systems from malicious things. Firewall can be hardware and software. Antivirus will use software. Okay. Firewall monitor the flow of traffic. Antivirus constantly scans the files and programs to detect the virus. Okay. Any other? All right. So simple firewall, as you guys said, it will monitor the traffic. So it will work at the gateway of the device or gateway of the network. Right. So it acts as a security guard. Firewall. Consider firewall as a security guard where it acts as a gateway between the device and the network, or network to intra-network to extra network. Like that, we have the firewall. So where it keeps on monitoring the network traffic only. When it comes to the antivirus, it is kind of a tanner. Like let's take, imagine your apartment is there. So you have already a security guard, right? So inside the apartment, if you have a doctor, consider. So what is the role of a doctor? Like to check whether he's good or not. So same here also, antivirus is worked as a doctor. So whatever the files your device is receiving, or sources the device is receiving, that will be scanned with the viruses, worms, trojans, malwares, like type of malware types here. So where it will completely scan these files, whether that contains any suspicious activities or not, and then accordingly it will remove that. It will block also. It will remove and it will block that activity also, right? So that is what the difference. So mostly it will work at the gateway, and For example, without firewall, we'll consider. So if you take without firewall scenario, so here we can go with we have the internet layer, right? So uh, where attacker can scan the ports, right? And then he'll get some open ports like open SSH he got. Then what he'll do? He'll try to access that service. That is what? Unauthorized access. So this is the process in general when there is no firewall. So when there is no firewall, this is what attackers do. They connect to the internet, they scan your network, find the open services, and connect with the system. So what if I have a firewall? So what if I have a firewall? Let's take antivirus also. So this is without firewall scenario. Same here also without antivirus. So without antivirus, what happened? So user downloads the malware from the internet, and then he runs that file, and that file will infect the system. System will get infected. But antivirus one that detects the links of malware. Exactly. So this is the scenario of your antivirus. So when there is no antivirus, you can easily download the files and you can run the files. That files will infect your system. So imagine what if you have an antivirus and a firewall here. So without firewall, this is a process where attacker will do. Without antivirus, this is a process. So what attackers can do now when they implement this antivirus and firewall? So antivirus, so if you have a firewall, what the firewall will do? It will block the network attacks, right? So network level attacks, it can block, right? So it can block this attack or not, right? So it won't allow the attackers to scan the network. This is what happened. What if you have an antivirus here? It will remove the malicious files, right? So these two things won't be happened here. These two things won't be happen. When you have a firewall, that will block the network attacks, and when you have the antivirus, that will remove the malicious files from your system. So two different activities we have here. So firewall will work based on the predefined rules, and antivirus will work based on the behavior, signature, and even the suspicious activities like pattern basis also. So this is the advantage with firewall and antivirus. So when there is no firewall, easily attacker can gain the unauthorized access. Without antivirus, easily attacker will infect your system. So when you have a firewall, easily you can block the network attacks. When you have antivirus, easily you can remove the malicious files from your device or attacks from your device. So that is a difference you can find in the firewall and antivirus, right? So firewall, it controls the network traffic which entering and leaving a system. So it works on network layer of OSI model. When it comes to the antivirus, this will detect and remove the malware from a system. So this will work at the endpoint layer or host layer only, right? So where firewall will monitor the incoming and outgoing packets, where antivirus will monitor the processes, files, memory, applications, everything that is running on your device, right? So example, you can take Windows Defender or pfSense as a firewalls, and antivirus like you can take Norton, Kaspersky, all this, or even my Microsoft Defender is also a kind of antivirus. So this is what you can see as a difference, right? So as Rishabh said, phishing emails. Example, you can take phishing emails. So where phishing emails can't be detected by the firewalls, and only your antivirus will detect that link as a malicious. So firewall can't detect them as a malicious here. So malwares can easily detectable by the antivirus system. And then what is the limitations we have? Hmm. So what are the firewall limitations? It cannot stop the insider threats. Okay. Good. Cannot protect against malwares. Okay. But your Windows Defender will protect the payloads, all these things, right? Hmm. So that is the antivirus we have. So as you said, it cannot detect or stop the inside insider threats. Okay. Another thing. Attack on. Okay. So cannot prevent the social engineering attacks, right? And cannot failing to update the threat routes. Okay. Cannot detect the malware on USB drive. So if USB drive contain any malware, it won't detect those kind of activities. Mm. Cannot detect encrypted threats. Good. Mm. It cannot detect zero-day attacks or zero-day malwares. Mm. Any other? Mm. Will your firewall prevent the misconfiguration issues? No, they can't detect misconfiguration issues. So misconfiguration means if any application was misconfigured, is your firewall detected attacks? Is that firewall responsible for that? No, so that is completely allow anyone. So firewall become almost useless at the time. So you have a good firewall, but whatever the application you configure is not properly maintained or not properly configured. So attackers can easily take the advantage of that. So your firewall won't responsible for that attack at that point. So there is no use. There is no use of using the firewall at that point when you do a misconfigurations for your application. So you need to look over the misconfiguration issues also. There is also another challenge we have. So firewall can't do that actually. So these are the some limitations we have from the firewall. So where they can't prevent the zero-day attacks, they can't prevent the social engineering attacks, insider attacks, or encrypted files can't be prevented, zero-day attacks can't be prevented, misconfigurations can't be prevented. So these are the some limitations we have, right? Clear? So you can expect these questions actually. Any other limitations? Right. So that is all about the firewall. Then coming to IDS and IPS. So what is this IDS and IPS here? What is IDS? Mhm. Mm. Okay.
But IPS blocks will get it and will block.
Exactly. So intrusion detection system and IPS intrusion prevention system. Right. So then what's the difference between the firewall and IDS IPS? Hmm? What's the difference? Can anyone tell me? So simple remember? Hmm. Hmm. How it will detect all? కరెక్ట్ చెప్పింది.
We are not providing.
రూల్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయకుండా అది దానికంటే ఒక ఓన్ రూల్స్ ఉండాలి కదా, ఏ రూల్స్ ఉండొచ్చు. సో ఏదో ఒకటి అయితే ఇన్పుట్ ఉండాలి కదా, ఇన్పుట్ లేనిది ఏది పనిచేయదు, అవునా? సో వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ ఇన్పుట్? That's like IDS only, IPS also, with blocking capabilities. Means it will stop the intruders. It sees the attack and stop the attack also. That is what IPS do. So IDS, in the name itself, we have that we call as an intrusion detection system, which will detect the malware, but it won't stop that malware or activity. Whereas IPS, it will first stop that activity and then it will provide the alert to the attacker. For example, I'll just show you an example. Imagine I'm using the Norton. So antivirus. This antivirus pre-built, it contains the IPS. I'll show you. This came up with a feature called IPS, intrusion prevention systems will be there. And see that you have the behavioral protection, and if you scroll down, so you have intrusion prevention. So you have intrusion prevention signatures. So it will scan the network traffic for attack signatures, discard packets from the attackers, and block the connection to them. So I'll just show you a sample example how IDS work here. So what's the difference of IDS and IPS means? If you say I'm having a malware in my device, you observe I'm having a malware here. Emitot is a malware. Just observe. If you see when I extract this file, imagine I'm extracting this malware. So I extracted the malware. If you observe, there is a file. Within seconds, it will get removed from my device. Can you see? Automatically, it got removed if you observe. And it provided an alert for me. I don't know, it won't show you. Here I got an alert actually. Can I click on see data? Yeah, can you able to see that? I got an alert. So what happened? It found the threat. threat type, option, everything it is giving, right? So what it did here, what is the activity it did? It quarantine. So if you observe, first it is performing the action and then it is informing to me. It is providing the alert. That is what IPS do. So first, if it found that as a suspicious, first it will perform the action. The action can be quarantine, block, allow, deny, whatever it is. It do that first. And then only it will go for alert. But IDS is not like that. Just it will give the alert and the action will be depend on your user interaction. Again, I need to manually remove that. It just give that man there is a malware in your system. So I need to do that activity. That is what the IDS will do. So it will just detect the malware. It won't remove that from your system. That is what the difference of IDS and IPS. So IDS, it just detect the malware or a malicious activity in your system and give the alert to the attacker, and attacker will perform the action. When it comes to the IPS, first it will perform the action, then only it will give the alert. Means it will detect the malicious activity as well as it will block that activity. Means it can take its own decision here, where IPS will take its own decision. Got my point? Is that clear? So how IDS will work? Just tell you how IDS. So if you observe here, if you ask me what's the difference between the firewall, IDS, IPS means, if you see the firewall, it will just monitor the traffic based on the rules what it has, and it will perform the action according to that rule set. So will it able to detect the malicious activity? No, that won't detect the malicious activity, the firewall. So how we can able to find that malicious activity means by implementing the IDS and IPS. Imagine this is your college. Just consider you have a security guard. Consider security guard as a firewall. Okay. So the management given a instruction saying that man, you need to allow the people who are wearing the ID card. So obviously, whoever entering into the organization, like the institutions, the security guard will verify that, and then only will allow inside the college. So can I able to bypass this fellow? Can I bypass this guy? ఎందుకు గోడ దుంగిపోలేవా? Can jump through a wall, or you can make this person busy, or by creating a fake ID. Can I manipulate? Firewalls can be manipulated easily. Yes or no? We have seen that the techniques also, decoys, fragmentations, like that. So I can make this guy busy with the other people, and slowly I can take an entry. So it is possible for me, yes or no? So there are chances. What if I implement the CCTVs here and a security verification gate? So even if you jump from the wall, I can able to view that. Even if you're making this person busy and taking the entry also, I can view that through my control room. And I can inform that to the security guard. Now security guard will stop this attack. So CCTVs are like your IDS. Hence they go very deeper. Got my point? Getting my point? Right? So where security guard is acting as a firewall, where CCTVs are acting as a IDS. Right? So whatever you do, you can able to identify by the IDS here. And stopping that attack will be done by the IPS. Again, CCTV will be there along with the security guard will be there. So he will inform to this guy will stop that attack. So that is how IDS, IPS, and firewall will work here. So whatever the traffic your network is receiving, first it will verify with your firewall's rule set, your basic firewall rule set, it will verify. And then it will go to the IDS, and IDS will have the signature file database. Can you see the signature file database here? So what the signature database content? What the signature file database contains? Some known malwares, threats, right? All these things will be maintained in the this database. Not only the firewall rules, it contains the malwares information also and the threats related information also, or some pattern related information also it will have. So that will be verified with this database. If it is matched, what happened? It will go to the rule, action rule, like either to log or notify the admin or disconnect the connection or drop the packet, what you want to do, that will be performed. No, it didn't match with the signature, then it will go to the anomaly detection. Anomaly detection means behavioral, means it look for the suspicious pattern, unusual activities or suspicious activities will be detected. So if that match with that action rules, then it will perform the action. If not, again it will go to the stateful protocol analysis, means deep packet inspection will be performed here. So then only it is allowing you to the inside the network, means a multi-layer of security you have with the IDS. It is checking with the signature, detecting behavior, and even the stateful protocol, means deep packet inspection is also performed here. So all this together, your IDS will verify whether that file is a malicious file or not. Got my point? So these IDS will detect the attacks and provides the visibility and help for the forensic investigations also. So that is what IDS do here. So which is intrusion detection systems. So whereas IPS, same, it will detect the attacks. Instead of provide the visibility, it will block the attacks automatically and prevent the exploitations. So where firewall cannot detect many application layer attacks and may allow the malicious traffic on the allowed ports, when it comes to the IDS, it does not stop the attacks. Larger number of alerts require monitoring, where IDS sometimes it will provide the false positives also, so which can block the legitimate users' activities also, and it requires a careful tuning here, right? So where firewall will decide who can enter, and IDS watches and reports the suspicious activity, and IPS will watches and actively block the attacks also. So that is the difference of firewall, IDS, and IPS. So IDS, how it works means it will go for signature analysis, behavior analysis, and deep packet inspection analysis. Then only it is allowing the packet into the network. So firewall filters the traffic based on the predefined rules, and IDS will monitor the traffic and generate the alerts when the attacks are detected, and IPS monitors the traffic and detect the attacks and automatically block the malicious activities before it reaches the target system. Got it? So that is what the difference between the IDS, IPS, and firewall. Is that clear? Right. So as I said, IDS uses three methods here to detect the intrusion. The first method is signature. So it recognizes the signatures, like it will try to identify the events that are indicates as abuse of a system or a network. Right. So signature based intrusion detections, which compares the incoming and outgoing traffic packets with the binary signatures of known attacks. Right. And coming to anomaly detections, it is not use detection, so differs from the signature recognition. So it involves the database of anomalies, means patterns. So the anomaly is detected when an event occurs outside the tolerance threshold of the network traffic. So that may deviate from the regular use in attack actually, and that detects the intrusion based uh, on the behavioral characters actually. Right. So that is the behavioral detection we can say. right? So it will establish a baseline for the normal protocol behavior, or it will understand the protocol service what it provide, and if it is violating that service without informing to the user, creating a file, deleting a file, or modifying a file in my system, that leads to a suspicious activity. So that will be considered as a behavioral detection actually, right? So like that they go with these scenarios here, and stateful protocol, which is deep packet inspection, will be performed. So all this together will help the IDS to detect whether the file is malicious or not, and accordingly your IDS will block the file. So this is how your IDS will work. So the difference of same IPS also same, but what IPS do is directly it will perform the action instead of giving the alert, right? So these IDS will come up with the two categories again. So we have two different types of IDS and IPS. So is everyone clear what is IDS and IPS? So in this you have types of IDS and IPS. So what is this types of IDS and IPS here? NIDS and HIDS. So you know what is NIDS here? Network intrusion detection system. And HIDS is nothing but host intrusion detection system. So what is the difference? What is the difference of NIDS and HIDS? Same. Do you remember the host-based firewall and network-based firewall? So what's the difference of that both? So this will monitor the network traffic. Where this will monitor the individual or host system, right? So this will be deployed at the gateway on the switches or routers, and this will be installed on the servers or PCs or endpoints there. So where HIDS will work on a single system, so where it will capture, analyze the traffic on the individual device. So it's a single host activities it will perform. Where NIDS, it will work for entire network, right? So it will monitor entire network. So mostly your port scans, DOS attacks, or network attacks can be detected and prevented by the NIDS only. And malwares or file changes in your device or any unauthorized access that can be detected by the HIDS here, right? So some of the NIDS we have is like some of the tools we have. You can work out on SNOT. This is network level IDS system we have. When you have a server, you can implement this SNOT on that server. And here we have HIDS like this will be mostly used in SOC, OZU, or OSSEC. So these things you can implement as a host-based IDS systems. We can say. I'm using the Norton in my device. So NIDS, which monitors the network traffic flowing through a network segment. So it will detect the port scans, network reconnaissance, DDoS attacks, brute force attacks, worm activities, all these things easily can be detectable by the NIDS. When it comes to the HIDS, it runs directly on a host machine. So it will monitor the files, logs, registries, user activities, system calls, all these things will be analyzed and detected by the HIDS here. Right, so that's the difference of NIDS and HIDS. And NIPS and HIPS is nothing but preventions here. Same method, but prevention scenarios. Got it? So IDS, intrusion detection systems, IPS, intrusion prevention systems. And how HIDS will work means this is the category. This is the flow of your IDS and IPS. And then you have types of IDS and IPS here. And you have the IDS alerts also. So what are the IDS alerts we have? So the first alert we have is true positive. So what is true positive? True positive, false positive, false negative, and true negative. So what is this false positive? This is what the alerts will get actually. Any idea? True positive means detection is true. Okay. Means simple. There is attack happen. Okay, so there is attack happen and it provided the alert. So attack జరిగింది దానికి alert కూడా ఇచ్చింది. This is a true positive. Okay. False positive means no attack, but it gave alert. Attack జరగకుండా కూడా అది alert ఇచ్చింది. That activity is we called as a false positive. And false negative, attack happened, but no alert it provided. That process we called as a false negative. And true negative is nothing but no attack and no alert. So this process we called as a true negative. So these are the some different types of IDS alerts. Means IDS will generate a 4 types of alerts here: true positive, false negative, and true negative. So true negative means like it is a condition that will be occurred when an event triggers an alarm and cause the IDS to react. It is a real attack in progress, right? So means the event may be an actual attack and in which the case an attacker attempting to compromise the network, right? So that is where the true positive we call. So false positive means so there is no attack happen, but your IDS alarm the attack actually. So it alarm when no actual attack is in progress actually. So it occurs when IDS treats regular system activities as an attack here. So to make the users insensitive to these kind of alerts and weaken their reactions to actual intrusion events sometimes. So that's why the SOC people mostly they do this log analysis to convert that log as a false positive or true positive. So true negative means when attack IDS fails to react to an actual attack happen. So at the time that process we call as a false negative means this condition is most dangerous failure, right? So why? Because the purpose of an IDS is to detect the attack and respond to the attack. What if it is not detecting the attack and not allowing, not giving alert means that's a failed service. And true negative means no attack happened and no alert has been given. So when no attack, IDS identifies as an activity as acceptable behavior and attack is an acceptable scenario, then you can see the true negative scenarios here. So these are the some ideas alerts we have. Clear? Any doubts in IDS, IPS, and the firewall? Which negative? True negative. Okay. So true negative means obviously there won't be any attack happen, and for no attack, it is not providing any alert also. It is in acceptable manner. It is in the acceptable manner. That process we called as a true negative. Means the firewall working according to the acceptable basis, right? So any incident happened, for example, you logged into your system, man, but you failed. Will it generate a log or will it give the alert to the admin saying that someone is logged into the account? No, because you are a authorized person. Your authorized person is logged in, but it failed for the first time. Next time you got login success. So that is an acceptable scenario. So those kind of things we call that as a true negative. So in organizations, what happened is most of the time, even a legitimate user fail to log into the system, that will generate a log saying that there is attack. So again, I need to confirm with the concerned user saying whether you logged in or not. Once it says that is logged in, then I close the ticket actually. So sometimes true negative will also fail here. So that triggered as a false positive means no attack happened. It says an attack happened. So you need to make sure that true negative has to work properly. It should be in acceptable basis. The activity should be in acceptable basis, right? So that is what we called as a true negative. Right. So some of the ideas tools will be there. Most of the tools are paid services. Some of them are open source we have, or you can write your own rule sets also. So the tools are like mm, Snot we have for ideas. Juniper we have. Juniper is a paid service actually. Even Zeek, OSSEC, Cisco, these are all the tools we have here. So most of them are paid sources. Snot is an open source. You can work out on this Snot also. You can write your rules set, you can implement them, right? We'll go with this Snot. Simple to install this Snot in your device. IDS and IPS both. Cisco will work for the IDS and IPS. Juniper network IDS. Snot HIDS and NIDS it will work. Zeek HIDS. So like host level and network level we have both for IDS and IPS. Okay. They work for both. So prevention rule if you write, the action if you implement as a prevented, then that will be act as a IPS. Detection base if you like the rules, then we call that as a IDS. That's the difference between the IDS and IPS. Not much. Both will work based on that signature, behavior, packet inspection, all these things will be performed in both the bases. But the action, what it perform will be depend on that part. Is that clear? Right. So we'll go with this snot. Snot implementation is a bit difficult. Why? Because system to system where it will be. Just I'll show you how to download this snot. Okay. I'll give my file. You can import that file in your device also, and you can write your own rules also here. Right. So we generally see. Yesterday I shown you the firewall how it will work. You can write your own rules. So some of the IDS services will come up with their own signatures. Okay, so if you see in my device, I have installed this not already. It's there in my device in Windows 8. So here you have all the rules. So these are all the predefined rules. Those are all empty only. You can implement them accordingly. For example, I have written some local rules here. So you can see DOS rules you have. So you can right click. So there is explanation. If you want the DOS rules, you can implement the DOS rules. So you can ask the Google DOS rule first not. You can ask that. So here they are giving the rule alert TCP any source, any protocol from home network 80. So you can implement your network or any from destination also you can mention. And message I'm mentioning as a possible TCP flood attack. So flag I said as a S means SYN flag if it represented. Threshold type, tracked by the source. Count I'm saying 100. So if I get more than 100 requests from the target as a SYN request, then automatically means within 5 seconds, if my device receiving the 100 count of SYN packets, I'll consider that as a DOS attack. So immediately you'll get a message like this: possible TCP flood attack is happening on the device. You can customize that. This is a customization rule. So here flags, it trigger only the packet with the SYN flag set. Why? Because we set the flag as a yes, SYN flag. And thresholds means like more than 100 SYN packets originating from a single source within 5 seconds that we consider as a threshold type. Threshold type I have mentioned. And SID is nothing but it's a unique signature ID. I'm giving to this rule. To this rule, I'm assigning a unique signature ID that you can mention anything here. Same like that. This is for rule of detecting the. I can write the rule here. Okay, I mentioned the rule here. Right. So Control S. Then again, this is rule for sync flood. And again, there is another rule. You can get the rules in online also. We'll give that. So UDP. This is UDP flood attacks or HTTP DOS or slow res attack. If anyone is performing the HTTP or DOS slow res attack, you can mention this rule, right? And you can go with the drop or reject. So drop means silently discard the packet. Drop means it will drop the packet and actively send the TCP reset or ICMP unreachable message to the target. So this is the alert. This is only for alert related. You can write a rule related to the drop also. So when you write as a drop, that will be comes under the part of. When you just mention as an alert, this is a part of IDS. Got my point? That's the difference. So if you're just selling the IDS to the tool to provide an alert, it will provide the alert that is the IDS part. If you're saying to deny or block that activity, that will be part of IPS. Got it? So you can write that accordingly reject or drop basis. So here you can return as a reject or drop basis. Right? So like that you can write the rule set here. You can write the rule set. Right? So these are all empty only. You can configure them according to your basis. So I have went for some of the local rules I created here. So in local rules, I'm using the ICMP based. So you can see alert ICMP any or alert ICMP any and any drop or alert kind of thing. I have created a. This is written by me. I have created this rule actually. Okay. So before going with this, let's discuss about the Snort. So how Snort can be implemented here. So simple, you can just visit the Snort website. So I have the snort.org. So just visit this website. So I suggest go with the version 2.9. Don't go with 3.3, has a lot of compatibility issues. First, create an account. Make sure to create an account here. It's free only. You can use the temp mail or any other mail here. Just do sign up for an account. So I did with the temp mail, and then go to downloads. Can you see the downloads? Click on downloads here, Snort. So you have a Snort download. If you scroll down, so you have a Snort 2. I'm using the version 2 of Snort. Here, can you see the Snort 2.9.20 installer.exe file? So just do download this file. Getting my point? Just do download this file. And once you download the file, do install that file. Okay, do install that file. So when you install that file, you'll see these folders here. You can open your Windows C, you'll see a folder. It will create a folder in your local disk C. And in the local disk C, you can see all these rules, etc, all these folders. So most of them, this will be the empty only. These are all empty folders. So what we need to do is we need to download some rules also. So just scroll up. You have the rules. So just download this rule. Just go with this one. Just take this one or this one, any of them. So just download this rule. Okay, so when you click that, it is a zip file. Remember, it's a compressed file. It's a compressed file. Generally, you can't see the rules here when you're not logged in. So you need to log in. So once you log in, it will show you the rules. Just click on this, download that file. So once you download that file, if you see, when you download that file, so when you download that file, right click, extract to not folder. So you can see a folder was created here. So once the folder created, you can see this folders we have, etc, the config file, and pre-configure rules, and rules. These are all empty rules. You can write them, but it should be configured. And so rules you have. So what you guys have to do is just copy this and replace with these things. Just copy all that folders from there and replace them here. Got it? That is what you have to do. So first download the exe file, install that. It will create a folder in your local disk C. And now download the rules and copy that rules to this folder. Clear, everyone? So once you're done with this, now the main task is configuration. So configuration is somewhere headache here. You need to configure everything here. So you can go to this config file, right click, use Notepad++. So whoever not having the Notepad++, make sure to download the Notepad++. So why I'm suggesting Notepad++ means when you open the file in the Notepad, generally, if you normally open that file in the Notepad, if you see, if I want to configure anything, there won't be any line numbers here. So line numbers undo make it. You don't have the line numbers, so every time I need to search for that connectivity. So if you open the in the Notepad++, man, in Windows where you'll find the VI. In Linux, if you have, you can do that. If you have, even there also, you won't have the line numbers, na? So if you open with the Notepad++, you can see the line numbers. So when you run this not tool, it will show you in which line you have the error. So it is easy to find where the error happened actually. Getting my point? So why I'm going with the Notepad++ means when you run this not tool, for example, so let me go with snort execution. Just let me open the command prompt. So run the command prompt as administrator. Make sure if you want to run the snort, this is the process. Open your command prompt. So go to snort. So I have a snort. So now you're inside the snort, right? So this is the command you need to run actually to run this snort. So I need to go to first go with snort. No, sorry, you need to move on to the bin, CD bin. So if you see in CD bin, you have volume C, Windows, volume C. Oh, sorry. So if you see here, snort.exe. So now you need to run this snort.exe. Snort.exe, go with hyphen uppercase W. Hyphen uppercase W. When you run this, now you need to activate to the interface which you want to configure the rules. So obviously my IP address is, this is my device IP, which is running on the index number, which is 5. This is my IP address, and to this network interface, I'm running. So to this wireless network interface, I'm running the snort. Means whatever the package this adapter is receiving will be verified with this snort. Right. So the command you need to run here is simple snort in bin folder only. -C. I'll share this command. Go with C colon slash snort. In snort you have etc folder. In that etc folder you have snort.config file. Okay, so this is what the configuration we did. So this is that file actually. So in your local disk C, snort, in snort you have etc. This is the file you need to configure actually. So why? Because I have configured everything. So I have configured all the rules. You can see IMAP, POP3, DNS, all these things. And I have given the whitelist rules, blacklist rules. You need to configure actually this file. So even it will be the backward slash. Actually, this will come up with the forward slash. I'm running in the Windows. So Windows, you need to go with the backward. So you need to change everything. So there are a lot of lines to be edited actually. So that's why what I'm doing is I'll share my file. Already I edited everything. I configured everything. It's working fine for me. So I'll share this file with you people. You can just replace with your snort config file. Just remove this snort config file. You'll come with this snort config file, right? Just replace file with the file which I have given. Okay. So simple. Or else you need to change everything. A lot of changes you have here in this. Okay. So better I'll give my config file. Already I have configured. What I configured means I'll just explain you. What are the lines you need to change actually is. The first thing you need to do is you need to open this snort.config file with the Notepad++. So once you open, you can see this is the file. So if you scroll down, first go with the line 104. I have written here. So actually it will come up with the snort folder only. So you need to configure everything here. Rule path. Rule path means you need to go to this snort folder. In snort folder, you have the rules. So this is the path you need to give here. You need to copy this path and you need to add that path here. So like that, so rule path you need to give, preprocessor rule path you need to give. Like this, you need to configure these 3 lines first. Next configuration is 113 line, 13, 113. So here you need to give the whitelist as a rule path. This is what I have did. And next I'll change, I did it on 186 line. So I configure the log path also. Log means any alert happens, right? That will be logged here. So because I said alert, not drop. So that alert logs will be generated here. And that logs will be stored in this path. Can you see I create, there is a path. What is that path? Log path. Now you need to give this path here. So copy this and give that path here. So like that, you need to do some configurations here. Almost some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 to 9 configurations you need to make here. This configuration, another one, and another one is 47. So these things, even you need to configure the dynamic preprocessor library and dynamic, it's not dynamic engine. These files you need to configure actually, and you need to be comment out. Comment out you need to remove. Comment out means, these things won't be compiled in the program. So these things only will compile in the program actually. So when you see the hash before the code, that will be considered as a comment out scenario, right? So these things you need to do changes, and as well as this one, I need to change this forward slash and all these things. This one. So you need to just select all this include. Just double click on this include. It will select that. Right click. So just include. Click on search. In search, you have replace option. In replace, find what? So you have this this one. The forward slash will be there. Now replace with the backward slash and click on replace all. So when you do that, it will be replaced in all the positions. These positions all you need to change. So like this, you need to do that process. It's already did there. So like that, you need to do some changes here. Got it? And then once you do these changes, now come to this command prompt terminal. So in terminal, you need to run a command called snot.exe. In terminal, just visit the snot folder, snot bin. In this folder, you have snot.exe file. Just run with the -w. So it will show you all the network interfaces. In that, select your network interface which you want to implement this traffic, like snot to be implemented. So I need to implement this snot to my. So this is working as a HIDS or NIDS. Now this knot is working as a HIDS or NIDS. So it will work as a HIDS only. Why? Because I am implementing only on my device. So it will work according to my device traffic only. If you have any centralized device like router, you can configure with the terminal for the routers also, right? So this is working as a HIDS here. So now what you need to do is just run this command here. No, NIDS also it will work, but you need to have a centralized device. So in organizations, they use the routers, switches, right? So in switches, you have the terminal console ఉంటుంది. A console లో configure చేస్తారు. This node, like how I'm configuring in my console, they do that in these decentralized devices. It's an open source again, and you need to write your own rule sets here. They won't come up with the uh, default service here, default rules here. So just go with the C. Right. So here you're specifying this not executable file, right? So now that will load this snot configuration file. So the configuration file contains what? This is what snot configuration file contains, like network variable, preprocessor settings, rule path, output configurations, detection rules, everything was included in this file only. So that is what this file we are giving. Okay, we are giving this file actually. So now this file is implemented to network interface, which is interface 5. So this is interface 5. On 5 only your interface is running. Right, so network interface 5. And then I'm configuring through a console. -A indicates as a console here, means the alert mode to display the alerts directly on the terminal only. So I'm telling that if it found any alerts, display that on the console, means on the terminal only. That is what -A indicates here. -A indicates here. And then -L. What is -L here? Log. So where the logs will be stored? So I have a path, right? Snot slash log folder you have the log path, right? Log folder. So I need the log in this folder. So Control C. I'm giving this path here. Right. Now when you run this command, imagine what is this command? Let's break down this. So you have snot -c, right? So snot -c, which is it start with the snot engine. So this will start with the snot engine, and -c is nothing but the configuration file. So this is the configuration file, and -I is indicates as the interface. So this configuration will be applicable to the interface file, and output means whatever the alerts it found or packets it drop, that should be alert on the console, means on the terminal -A, and -L log, and that log path is. So when I run this, if you observe when I run this, what happened? You can see you're getting an error. So it says snot rule toss. So the toss rule we created, right? Where it is, rules on line 21. So when you have Notepad++, it is easy to find where exactly the error we have. We run the. So now it's working. So there is no error actually. So wait for a while. Now the snot got installed and it is working now. So now try to perform the ping on my device from your device, or else. Why? Because I have written a rule here. So what is the rule I have written here in this knot? So I created a user file, local file here. I created my local rules. And rules, if you see, you need to create a file actually. Default, you don't have the local rules, or else if you find this local rules file, so local dot rules you need to type. Okay, local dot rules you need to type. So if you open this file, you can see this is the alerts I have written. I went for the default ICMP. Even you can do the, you can write these DOS attack rules also here. So just now we created the DOS attack rules, right? So let me go with snot DOS alert rule. Just a second, let me ask for ChatGPT to get the rule. Just try to understand this rule. Right. So this is a rule I have written. So what is here? The rule alert means generate the alert. TCP, inspect the TCP traffic I'm saying. Any means this any indicates as a any source IP and source port. Any source IP, any source port. And here you can give the home network any. So home network is nothing but here destination is your protected network. Or you can mention any and any also here also. From any destination IP or any destination port. And possible message I'm mentioning as sync flood attack. And flag is yes, means match the sync packets only. Detection filter means count packets over time and track by the source IP address separately. And count is 100 means trigger after 100 packets. And seconds is mentioned as means within 1 second or 5 seconds you can mention. And we have the SID or the reverse ID we have, which is not rule ID. So I'm mentioning as a SID is not rule ID we have, and revise as a 1. This will be applicable. So now let me save this rule. If you perform the DOS attack, open your Kali, connect to the network EST. And even I have written some other rules also. So I'm giving these commands to you in the chart. Just share that in the group. The usage. So make sure open your command prompt as a administrator and then go to the snot bin folder, snot exe -w command you need to run. Check the interface and the index number and then run this command. Snot -c, give the config file and interface file, console, terminal A, console only, and -l, which is nothing but log folder you need to give. Okay. And then to read the logs, this is the commands I have given. You can work out on this also. And here are some rule sets I have given. So alert means it will perform the action, like it will generate the alert. TCP is a protocol. Any source IP, port address, direction to destination IP and destination port, message alert, unique rule ID, and revision number we have. So this is what it contains. So this is the SSH alert I created. And this is HTTP alert we have. Okay. And I have written my own rules also. So the rules I have created in the, if you go to this node, there is a rule folder. So create, if you have the local.rules here, do that, or else right click, just go to new, go with the text document, create as a local dot rules rules. Remove that txt. So this is what you need to create. When you enter, it says already it exists for me. So I'm going with no. Okay. So you can create the rules like that. Local file you need to create actually. Default, you don't have that local rules. I created that local rules for my connectivity or for my interface. So now if you perform the ping to my device, this is my IP address first of all. One dot three. Just try to ping 1.3. Same network ఉన్నావా? EST లో ఉన్నావా? Okay. So just perform the ping. I'll share my snot file also. So instead of configuration, you can go or replace with my file. I'm giving that in the chat. If possible, try to share that in the group. Someone take the initiate. Actually, you need to configure everything like this. I have written the configuration. So you need to do all these lines, you need to change. So already I changed everything and I have given that config file. You can just use that. Okay. So make sure you need to build your local rules. So that local rules only will be applicable because Snot is not coming with any default rule sets here. Right. So perform the ping. 1.3, 1.3. It will take time. Replay వస్తుందా? Replay వస్తుందా? You can see when I got the ICMP request, it says from which device it made a request also. నిదానం చదవట్లేదా? You're getting the alerts here. These are all the alerts related to the ICMP. So ICMP for reply detected here. So this rule is working. The request or reply? Reply and request both detected. Right. And then message block ICMP larger packet. So it is completely dropping the packet actually. Let me go with alert here instead of control S. Let me run that again. So number 8 line. We'll get error like this. Which line you are getting the error? Line 12. Line 12. Okay, so if you observe here, already you have SID, we are giving the number, right? So a unique value we have provided. So already we have one number. So we need to change this to unique ID to 08 up. 8 is not available. So let me change that. Now run. TDOS rules 22. TDOS rule 22. What the error we are getting? So this is how you'll get the error. You need to sort out one by one. So same unique rule duplicate previous rule with a different protocol. Now it's working. It got initialized. Can you see? Block. Why? Because here it is performing the how much size of packet I'm sending here? 2008 bytes of packet I'm sending. So 2008 bytes of packet means according to this rule, this local rule. There is rule. So what I have mentioned here, if it is having the data size is more than 800, consider this as a ICMP large packet detected, right? So if you mention this as a drop, right? So I can mention this as a drop means that will drop the packet. So previously it gave the alert. Now if I try that, so is that getting as a, is that showing the scenario here? You can see. So it says possible DOS attack. Same way now, let me, here I mentioned the sync flood. Let me perform the HPing. Generate the alert now. Get this route to 5 seconds. I'm writing here. Hmm. So use sync flood. You can see possible sync flood. You're getting the alert. Just a second. Let me stop. Hmm. You got the alert. Possible sync flood attack from different IPs you're getting. If you observe, use the decoy here to target. So you can see all the possible sync flood attacks. Right. So like that, you can configure your own rules here. So here I have written my own rules. So just I have written some ICMP related rules, DOS attack related rules, sync flood detections, large ICMP packet detection. So like that, you can create the rules here. You can go with SSH block, telnet block, service level block, all these things. So the rules you can get it from online also. You can ask ChatGPT to provide a or write a rule for Snort to detect the DOS attacks or to detect the SSH connections or to drop the packet or to alert the packet. So you can can ask the ChatGPT, it will provide the rule. Just create a local.rules file and add that file to this. Obviously, when you run the error, check each and every packet, what mistake we made there, what rule, what it is saying not to be implemented. So just do changes to that and run that command. So once you're done, you can see it will show you the alerts here. And this will be stored in the logs also. So if you see Control Z, just go with Control C. You can see it shows all the buffer data till now, the memory usage, CPU usage, packets it sends, receive the packets, everything you can see here. And when you go to your log folder, you can able to view the log. Right. So today, what is the date today? 10, right? So this is the log file. So when you open this log file directly, if you see, it looks like this. You can't understand anything. So to read this log, so again, you need to run the commands. I have given that commands. So I have given these commands for you. You can check in the chat. I have given that. So what is that command is? Simple. Just go with this command like just view this command. So here mention that file name, which file you want to see. So the file name is this. Just copy this file name and give that file name here and go with -X. Now you can read the log. This is all the logs. How many packets you received? Every packet got logged here. So this is all the logs of that activity. So this is how you can write the rules and implement your snort. Okay, so I have given the file. Did they share that in the group? Share. Even that config file, better go with my config file already. I have given the config file for you, right? Just share that config file also with you, or else. So I have shared the config file also. So you can import this config file. You have the config file by default, but again you need to do changes to that config file. So better I suggest just import my config file and the rules. Okay, and just create a local.rules file and give some rules. If you go to this node here in the rules, check for local.rules file. If you have that, that's okay. Do edit the that file. If not, right click, go with edit with the notepad and just write your own rules. Okay. And apart from this, I think you need to create two files here. One is whitelist. This file you need to create. So I'll get the whitelist.rules, this file. See, make sure enable the extension in view. You have an option, right? File extensions enable. So keep this enable. Why? Because when you're creating the file, if you go with the new text document, it should be like this. So the text, the extension also it should show. So then you can go with the white underscore list dot rules. Like this, you need to create a file. Same black underscore list dot rules. So create the files in that way. Got my point? So here I think in this folder you need to create three files. One is white underscore list dot rules. Another one is local dot rules, and another one is blacklist dot this one black underscore list dot rules. These three folders you need to create, and in local dot rules folder you need to add your all the rule sets. So build your rule sets and see whether your device is detecting that rules or not. And to read the log files, this is the command. So here every rule you have that. So you can see ICMP TTL value, so how much TTL length they used also you can show. So IP length, complete header information you'll get here. So this is all the rule logs only. This is all the logs you have, right? So just do install this node, implement in your device, write the rules and see whether it is working on. Got it? So alternate of this, you can work out on the PF sense also. So you can work out on PF sense. So you can use this PF sense. I'll share that video, the group, you can check it there. Okay. So your task is go with the firewall, IDS, IPS, evasion techniques I need. And so how will you bypass the IDS and IPS? What are the evasion techniques we have? So that you need to tell me. Okay. Will you guys do that? Simple Notepad++ and search a Google. So you can see this Notepad++. The first website visit about. from the exit. Today, okay, I'll inform to the team. Okay, so I have this option, or else I have download here. Can go with the version. So new version, I think we got. Just download from. So just to install the Notepad++. It's not. Okay. So I need the IDS, IPS, firewall, Evision Mix. So I have shared in the group already, but do from your own. Check what are the evasion techniques. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Is there any doubts? Simple. We did implement this knot and we check whether it is detecting the traffic or not. Simple. Whatever the rule I written, according to that rule, it is detecting the traffic. Same. In real time also, it will work in the network level. Here, it work in the host level. All right. So that's it for today. We'll stop it here for today. Continue the remaining in the next session. So everyone do work out on this. Got it. All right. So that's it for today, guys. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.